there, kids! Welcome to the Child of Mecha live stream. I am your host, Tim, the one and only Child of Mecha. It is Wu-Tang Wednesday. Continuing on that tidbit. Pretty good stuff we got done today. We continued working on the arm. We got the forearm armor duplicated on the other piece today. That went really well. We're going to turn it over and work on the two little side pieces here on the arm and do a little bit of plating on that. And then if we got some time, we're going to move it up to the upper arm, like the tricep armor and everything there too. And if we happen to get all that done, well, we got even more stuff we can work on. Yeah, we're looking pretty good. So, question of the day is in the chat. If you could instantly become an expert in one aspect of this hobby, what would it be and why? So, let's talk about it. That's up there. Answer away. Have at ye. Anyway, don't forget to buy. There we go. Very good. All right. So let's get to it. Let me put this stuff off to the side that I was working on here before we jumped on. Let's cap that. Let's go to Super Zoom. All right. So for those of you playing at home that didn't get a chance to watch today's live stream, like I said, we went ahead and duplicated, excuse me, both of these. These are looking really, really good. We got all that work done and everything there. We got all the notches, all the panel lines done. So those are perfectly symmetrical and identical. And looking really, really nice. Now, the next part of this, the next phase, is to detail these little pod thingies. And it's pretty easy. Nothing crazy, just some plate on there, just shaped down and everything. So pretty straightforward stuff, really. So what we need to do first and foremost is pull these off of here. That'll probably be easier without the forearm armor on there. Maybe not. Come on. Oh. There it is. There it is. Man, come on. Just a little wiggle. It's got a little wiggle to it. Come on. Don't make me get the part separator out on you, buddy. Come on. There it is. There it goes. There we are. All right. Perfect. Alrighty then. So, first things first, what we need to do is we need to measure the width of what we need here in terms of the strip that we want. That's going to be 6 mil. So we got 6.3. Let's see how that measures up. That's pretty big. We're gonna have to trim some of that. We may be better served with let's see, this is 4 mil. So if we do it, if we stack it this way, yeah, it may be better. It's 1/2 dozen or another, quite honestly. 1/2 dozen or another. All right. So let's get things pushed off out of the way. Let's get my favorite tool in here, the chopper. There we go. And let's go ahead and get some strip cut here. All right, we're gonna measure 6 mil. Right about there. Okay. This was 1/2 mil, right? Yeah, okay, cool. Just making sure the thickness is accurate. And let's just square off that end. One piece. 2 piece. And there we are. Yeah, that would have been a better angle, wouldn't it? Oh well. C'est la vie. Now we know for next time. All right, put this off to the side here. Good stuff. And then bring this guy back in. Just like that. All right, so we've got our strip here. Let's see how these line up here with the forearm, these little pods here. So basically what we're doing is we're taking this shape, this kind of protrusion here, plating that up to that beveled edge, and then just shaping it to fit. I think that will work. Perfect. All right, cool deal. So, super glue for this it is. And where are the good tweezers? Let's see. Good tweezers. Where did you go? There you are. All right, cool. Actually, I don't think I can use these because these are easier to work with. There we go. All right, so now very, very carefully set that right along the edge. Perfect. Good deal. All right. Excellent, excellent, excellent. All right, we're off to a good start. All right, so let that cure. Let's get the other one glued in. So, same type of deal. Right up to that beveled edge. The placement's a little hinky. I don't like it. I do not like it. Alright, let's try that again. And we're gonna toss that piece because that's got some nasty glue on it there. Cut us another piece here. Try that one more time. Position on that just was not good. I didn't feel very comfortable with it. So let's sheesh. Let's get the rest of this dried super glue off of here. Okay, good deal. Good deal. All right, so now let's give that another shot here. One more time. Yeah, all right, cool. Much better, much better, much better. That is a whole hell of a lot better. Right on that beveled edge. Perfect. All right, cool. So let's go back to the other one here. This should be cured, and it is. All right, let's get this trimmed up here first. Good deal. All right, so first things first, for this, we need to just trim the outside edge, get it flush with the existing piece, just to follow that shape. Okay, looking good, looking good. Let's get this long edge. Okay. So now to check how we did here, let's first and foremost take these little red guys off here, because I took these off on the other arm and threw them in this little bin here with a bunch of the other teeny tiny pieces. So 2 more in there. Set that off to the side. All right, so let me do this here real quick first before we go any farther. Just need to expand that hole because that little guy was a bit troublesome to remove. That's not bad. There we go. All right, so that should make it a bit easier to remove now in the future, but let's check our shaping on this and that. That looks really, really good. There we go. Yeah. I'm good with that. I'm good with that. All right, so there it is. Okay, cool. Let's just go a little. Let's see. I'm looking at the bits here that I have for this. And let's see what this guy does here. So it's not falling off. Little wiggle, comes right off. All right, perfect. That will serve. All right, so let's do the same thing to this here. Yeah, okay, cool. That'll work. That'll work. All right, perfect. All right, so let's shape this guy up here as well. Okay. Very nice, very nice. All right, perfect. So looks like we got our edges shaped up real nice. Just like that. And like that. There we go. Jolly good. We're in good shape. All right, we're in good shape. All right, so those inside edges are looking really, really good, but we need to shape up the rest of it. So let's refer to this. Okay, cool. So basically what I went ahead and did is follow the edges themselves, right? And I'll show you what I mean by that here, because that obviously is not the clearest of terminologies here. Let's take a look here. So basically this angle right here, just follow that and trim that right down the part here. Just like that. So that looks really good. Let's see what the other section looks like here. Looks like it may already be. Just a little more trimming on the plastic sheet there. Damn it. These little parts, man, I swear to God. I was having so much problems handling and just holding on to the damn forearm armor earlier today on the early stream. I said that somebody should be keeping track of how many times I dropped the damn part, you know? So I nominated Scuffles, but of course he wasn't there. He's got his little meetings with vice presidents and board people and corporate shit. Whatever. Whatever. Excuses, excuses. That's all I hear. I just. Anyway, alright. So instead of having these ugly... See, there we go again. Instead of having these ugly square corners there, we're going to do something about that. Very good. Yeah. All right. That will serve. We'll take that. Let's do the same thing to this guy here. Okay, so let's mock these back up here and see what these two look like. Alright, so not bad, not bad. This one tapers, I think, a little bit, so we need to do a little bit of refinement on that edge. We need to bring that back to parallel. And I think it's because it's a little high on this side, because of the super glue and everything, but we'll get it straightened out here. Yeah, I like this way better. There we go. Just a little fine tuning. There we go. That brought that back to parallel, those two lines. So that's looking good. That's looking good. All right. So let's get this back on there. Yeah, that's much better. That's much better looking. Not bad. Not bad. All right, so let's get these off of here. Let's get these outlined and then shaped. And then we'll call this... Whoops. I just banged the microphone there. All right. So now... what I went ahead and did, just for variety's sake, I made this, the top, oh, wait a minute, that's 1 millimeter. That's not what I want. That's way too big. Way too big. All right, we're going to catch up in the chat here in a minute. Made the top line 0.60 just for, you know, kind of a variety. I like the look of it, honestly. So that's what we're going to do with this here. All right, there's that. Let's get the other one scribed in here with this 0.6, and then we'll get to really outlining these things here. Go. All right, cool. So cap that. Let's grab our 0.2, our outlining chisel, and then let's get really down to it. Let's get to work here. Once we finish this, we'll get back into the chat, see what's what. Oh, I forgot to mention, if you guys missed the early stream, we had a special guest appearance from Amber's boyfriend, Simon. He showed up because they spent the day together and everything because it's their 4-month anniversary. So they had a good time. They went out, got some food, came back, hung out, all that. So, but yeah, so Simon made an appearance on the stream, and it was good. It was good. Good kid, real good kid. I like him a lot. Alright. Very, very good. We just need to integrate that larger 0.6 millimeter with that 0.2 at that angle. So for that, we're going to grab the 0.6 again, and we're just going to do a little fine-tune work here. We're just going to kind of cut that edge, that corner there, and just gradually get that in there. All right, so now we'll come back with the 0.2 and scrape that little bit out of there. Not too bad, not too bad. Let's do this. Let's grab these guys, because this is much more, much sharper. So we're gonna grab these. Let's go with the 1.5 mil. You're much sharper and much, the angle's a lot more acute. So this will do the job nicely. Yeah, there we go. Nice. All right, good deal. There we are. You can kind of see that larger panel line at the top there. It's looking good. Very nice. Very, very nice. All right, sweet. All right, let's go ahead, get caught up with the chat here real quick, because I think the Universal chat's about to tap out here in terms of all the chatting that has happened since the start. Let's see. Let's go back to camera for this, shall we? All right. Let's see. Geo says, hello, everyone. First on YouTube again. Question of the day. It would be masking. If you master masking, you can really show part separation. I agree. I agree. Masking is tough. I don't like masking at all. It's tedious. It's time consuming. It's very intricate, and it's just boring as all hell. So, yeah, masking, yeah, I agree with that. Masking is a good answer. Masking is a good answer. Geo says, for almost a day, I thought my Real Grade V Gundam project was going to be shelved. I couldn't find the right hand, and the second color of gold I was going to paint found, and second gold, okay, sorry, there's a comma there, and a second color of gold I was going to paint. Found all the pieces. Good stuff, Geo. Mark R, what's going on? He says, I've had a $200 kit shelved for 2 years because I lost half of the arm joint. That sucks. Rip Metal Gear, however you say that. Bill's with us. He says, howdy, y'all. What's going on, Bill? There's Lorenz. What's going on, Lorenz? And then also over there on Twitch, we got Nolan. He says, I would focus on being a better painter once I get an airbrush set up. Nice. I dig it. I dig it. All right. All right. Let's see. Bill with the question of the day. He says, I just wish I had my hands and eyesight of my youth. I don't want instant expertise. What I know and can do have all been hard earned and thus invaluable. We learn more from mistakes than we do from success. Sometimes we make breakthroughs and open a new avenue when we fail at something. Good call. Yeah, good call. Nolan says, Tim, did you see the pics I guess I sent you? No. Did you send them, Nolan, did you send them to the Child of Mecha account, or did you send them to my personal account? Because I didn't see anything come through on personal, and then I don't, for some reason, don't get notifications on, for the, on my personal account from the Child of Mecha account. Oh, shit. Okay. Well, I have two people messaging me here. What the shit? All right, hang on. Let me see. Oh, to Tristan. Okay, let's see. All right, yeah. I don't hate it. I'm not playing the videos right now here, Nolan, but I'll take a look at them. Yeah. Word. Okay. Very nice. Very nice. All right. Sweet. So there we go. Anywho. Yeah, Nolan, I think it looked pretty good. He sent me pictures of a high-grade Gundam Tristan, which is a great design. Lorenz says time management. Ooh. Especially for time-framed builds like contests. That's a good call. Yeah, I've always had problems with that as well, Lorenz, I'll be honest with you. Gio says I have shelved way too many projects because of missing pieces. And then Bill says, Gio, sounds like your answer should be change to organization in the hobby. It's kind of thinking the same thing, I'll be honest. Oh, man. Let's see. Mr. Andrew, RF Aurora, he's with us. Evening all, just popping in long enough to see what's going on. Have to be up early the next 2 days. Ugh. No, thank you. Lelouch, what's going on, Brian? Finally off work. Hello, everyone. Let's see. Bill says, man, it is a flood of people getting off work, right? Right? Let's see. Andrew says, question of the day. If I could become an expert in any one aspect of the hobby overnight, probably remembering where all my tools are or modifying parts for kits. Fair. Bill says, Scuffle needs to get his priorities straight. Little plastic robots are number one. I know, right? All these corporate meetings and shit. Get out of here with that. Andrew says, also hoping that the weather tomorrow holds good while I'm out and about. He says, Tim, if you don't quit giving your model kits the devil's lettuce, they would be high all the damn time. See, this is part of the bad thing about not monitoring the chat 24/7, because I have no idea what context you're talking about, Andrew. I'm sorry, buddy. I totally missed it because I was off in my own little world dealing, working on this, and I missed the chat, so I apologize. Bill says he has to feed them right so they can grow up to be nice and strong. I don't know. Julius with us. Hello, everyone. Happy Hump Day. Julius, it is Wu-Tang Wednesday. That's a new thing. I just made it up. It's Wu-Tang Wednesday. Let's see. Bill says, I wonder if Brandon will post assignment number 2 for 0 parts given tonight. No worries if you can't. Just wondering. Yeah, he's been a busy bee here recently, unfortunately, with a lot of life things. So, like our good friend Bailey says, life be lifin', Hey, Mr. Gundamonium Works, Mr. Mikey Wine. He says, hey there. What's going on, Mikey? Good to see you, buddy. Nolan says, aw, young love. Right? Exactly. Julia says, hey, Mike, still working the late shift. And Bill says, hey, Mike, how goes it? Everyone else, hide your 1/20th Robotech kits. Or Mike here might build them before you get a chance, right? He's working late, waiting for a plumber to finish unclogging our main line. Oh my God, dude. Seriously? Wow. That's terrible. Somebody had too much fiber in their diet. Yeah, Julia says, ouch, that can't be good, right? He says, I've been working late a lot lately. That sucks, Mikey. That comes with leadership, though. That comes with leadership. Andrew says, I haven't bought any Macross kits since the Max Genius. I don't know. I don't know anything about Macross. I don't know anything about Robotech. I just know the Rick dude is the main one, and the Veritech and the Jolly Roger. Like, that's literally... And Min-May. Like, aside from that, I don't know anything about it. I've never watched, like, the shows or anything. Like, the only Macross one series that I watched, it was just the 4-part Macross Plus. That was good, but I haven't watched that in years and years and years. So, yeah, the context is lost on me again. Sorry, Andrew. Bill says, what is this Macking Cross thing you speak of? Is it like Robotech? There you go. Oh, man. Let's see. Nope, not falling for that one. Nice. Let's see. Nolan says, you got to see that Tristan shoulder joint. Oh, I'll take a look at it. I just didn't want to play the videos while, you know, the stream is going and everything. I'll take a look at it, though. Nolan, definitely. See, here's another one. Mike Dawson just got home from work. How goes it, everyone? What's up, Mikey? Andrew says, you were working on that one little part and said it was a little high. Oh, gotcha. Sorry, Andrew. Yeah, I had blinders on. Like, I was in the moment, you know, in the zone. Mr. Colin, what's going on, Colin? He says, hi, guys. Last coat going on the custom backpack tonight. Yeah. So Colin's back at it. Bill's back at it. Justin's back at it. I just saw on Instagram our good friend Bailey. He's back at it. Like, I'm super, super happy to see everybody back in the mix. Nolan's back at it. Nolan, did you stop and get back to work on models again? I can't remember. But yeah, I'm super psyched to see everybody kind of back in the mix. I like this. I like it a lot. Mike says, shame on you, Tim. DYRL is a must. What is that? I don't know what that stands for. I don't know what that is. I'm going to look it up. What is DYRL? Oh, the Macross. Do you remember Love? Whatever. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know what that is. Like, I never heard of it before. Macross just never hit with me. I don't know. That may be sacrilegious, but yeah, not my thing. Andrew says, sounds like a mechanism the reunion tour needs to be planned. Oh, man, we talked about that the other day. Maybe. Loren says, everyone's back at it. It's like Super Smash Bros. Of builders, right? I love this. Do you remember Love? Do you remember Love? Do you remember Love? There we go. I remember Love. Sounds like a terrible name of an 80s, song. Wasn't that a line from like a Cher song or something like that? Do you remember lost something love? Maybe, I don't know. It was terrible, but whatever. Bill says, do you remember Love is the movie, and the launch scene in space is still probably the best animated scene I have ever seen. Really? Interesting. Gio says, young kids and their gang acronyms. Right? Oh, man. Mikey says, I'm out. They got that thing unclogged, hey, Mikey? Good stuff. Thank you for stopping by, Mike. Appreciate you, buddy. Let's see. Mikey says, "I want to." Mike Dawson says, "I want to be back, but I'm in the middle of moving." Yeah, yeah. I have. That's actually, that brings up a topic. I was talking to Renee, my fiance, and man, you know, so like I said previously, I think I probably have maybe 2-3 months. If this thing doesn't, you know, if the wheels don't start spinning on this thing, and I'm, you know, starting to, you know, kind of see an uptick in income. So about 2-3 months until I'm, you know, until I'm not comfortable anymore using savings, right? And then, you know, it's shit or get off the pot, you know, get a job, basically. And then Amber goes off to college. Her move-in day is August 27th. So end of August. So for round purposes, we'll call it September 1, right? So she moves in September 1, and I figure what I think I might do is, because I wanted to give her a good amount of time to kind of acclimate to college life, make sure, you know, she's good, make sure that she's comfortable, make sure she's going to classes, getting good grades, just acclimating to the amount of freedom that she has, right? And I was going to give her probably maybe a quarter into the new year, maybe a, you know, a couple months into the new year. But now that I'm really kind of starting to think about everything together, that timeline may move up. So it may very well be November, December when I potentially put the house up for sale and get to moving down to North Carolina. So it may be sooner rather than, you know, sooner than I expected. Let's put it that way. So that prospect is daunting. Because I got a lot of shit that needs to be packed up and moved out of here. So, yeah. Something to think about. Something to think about. So, yeah, man. Just, it's a lot. It's a lot. So, Julia says, "Do you remember Love was animated excellently? Wish they had a better script and voice acting for the English version." Gotcha. Andrew says, "Do you remember Love couldn't get an American English dub because of the issues with Harmony Gold? The English dub out there was done in Hong Kong." Ooh, rough. Tim is moving again? Dang. I mean, you got to figure I moved, what, 5 years ago? So we've been in this place for 5 years. So, yeah. Yeah. It is what it is. You know, it is what it is. So, Julie says, "Interesting. Well, that explains everything. We have a Japanese English dubbed remastering is in order." There we go. Oh, we need a, okay. Gotcha. Geo says, "I have a PS1 game of Macross in my collection." See, there you go. All right. Kiddos, let's get back to work, yeah? Let's get back to work. Let's go back to Super Zoom. All right. So, this is looking good. Let's get the twin set up here. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start... Oh, I already did the 0.6 with this. Okay, cool. Well, that works. Okay. So far, so good. Very nice. Very, very nice. All right. Well, I forgot to mention it on the early stream, but I got shipping confirmation of the sample products that I ordered from Fourth Wall. So that should be here at the latest this time next week. So I'm pretty excited about that. Because it's all Mecha Army stuff. Like it's a Mecha Army hoodie and a Mecha Army t-shirt as well. So I'm very excited to see what that all looks like. So it will be good. It will be good. All right, just wrap these panel lines around the part, and then we'll be done with the scribing on these two little guys. Now, if you guys didn't see in the Child of Mecha community section here on YouTube, the other day Bill posted a really, really good little post about theme, right? And I've kind of been thinking about it ever since he posted that, because whenever I start a new project, right? I always have some sort of theme in mind, right? Because it's, in my opinion, it's very important. It guides everything. It guides aesthetics. It guides paint. Decals, you know, modifications, everything. That over kind of arching theme, right? And I think that's a really, really good topic. And he posted in the community page, you know, asking what, you know, you guys do, you know, for themes and stuff like that as well. So if you haven't, go reply to Bill's post in there, because it was really good. It's really, really freaking good. So, and, you know, mind you, the theme doesn't have to be, you know, deep, you know, like atrocities of war or any, you know, anything like that. Like, it can be super simple. You know, like with this build, the theme is speed. Pretty straightforward, right? Nothing deep, nothing, you know, crazy or anything. Just speed. I just want it to look fast. I want it to look good. You know, all that. So it can be a simple theme. It can be super deep. You know, it can be atrocities of war or whatever, you know. It can be whatever. But I think the theme is an important enough topic to warrant discussion, I think, you know. So this is my new favorite method of beveling. It's not easy, but it yields great results. You definitely have to have a steady, very delicate, very balanced hand to get the bevels right. Because you'll definitely be able to tell if they're not straight. But so far, so good. Now this long edge, this will be interesting. Not bad. That will serve. There we go. Yeah. That. You can't see it because it's all blown out. But there you go. You can kind of see it in profile, right? Looking good. That looks good. All right. I'm happy with that. Happy with that. Let's do the same thing to this side. Couple notches. We're done. There we go. Nice. Thought I was gonna mess up that long straight edge there, but no, we got it. All right, good deal. That one's good too. All right, so last thing to do on these are a couple little perpendicular notches. Again, 0.3. We're gonna rock this and put these guys back onto the arm and move on. Okay, jolly good. All right, that one goes back on there. That one's finalized. Jolly good. All right, sweet, sweet, sweet. Now that one on there, and then the forearm armor goes back on there. And there we go. Finished product. Yeah. Looking good. Looking good. That's what I like. That's what I like. Now, we move on to this. This could, as I knock it off the damn thing, this is going to be a very, very simple piece. It is one panel line all the way around, parallel notch, right on front, super easy, pretty quick. So that looks to be about 3 millimeters down from that. There's our 3 mil. Oh no, that's probably 4 millimeters. Nope, that's 3.5. God damn it. Okay. Okay. 3.5 it is. Wait a minute, what? Hold on. Let's try this again here, kids. 3. So, I don't know why that didn't look right before, but we got it. All right, so again, very, very simple. We're just going to scribe a line all the way around. Very, very easy. Oop, we don't want this one. This is a 0.3. We want the 0.15. There we go. Rock and roll. Okay, good, good, good. Just make sure these bevels are matched up. Good. Good. All right, nice. So we got that line scribed all the way around. Let's just make sure this thing is to good depth. Looks like it is. All right, perfect. All right, so we're done with that. Now we need our parallel notch on the front here, right? So to do that, we're gonna grab, I believe that's a 0.6 that I put in there. Let me just double check. It is. It is. All right, cool. So the good thing about this kit being kind of semi-transparent is sometimes you get lucky and you have little visual measurement cues, like you have the internal splines right here, right? So, and these are centered, so what I'm going to do, and what I did on the other part, is the outside of this spline and the outside of this spline will be our border for our parallel notch, and that way it makes sure that it's nice and centered on this piece and everything here. So sometimes you luck out with those types of things. Got that side of the notch nice and set. And then what we'll do is very carefully hold this thing kind of inverted like this. Okay, so we got both edges set. Now let's just get everything put together here. Sanding paper. Yeah, all right, cool. So there you go. Very, very simple. Very, very simple. Yeah. Done and done. All right, so that, my friends, finalizes the arms. We are, oh, I don't have the forearm. There it is. Now it's, oh, Jesus. Now it's on there correctly. All right, so yeah, the the forearms are done. Look at that. Very, very good. Sweet. So that can be put off to the side. That has been shipped, as they say. All right, so let's get caught up with the chat, because it does look like we've got a good amount that we need to catch up on here again. I don't know, man. I'm just kind of like, I've been in the zone all day. I've actually been in the studio the entire day, save for 1 hour. But I've literally been working on this model, just duplicating parts, and I didn't do anything, that you guys haven't seen or will not see. I've basically just been duplicating parts. Like, I got the, we'll go camera 2 here in a minute. I got these two, the shoulder pieces duplicated. That was a chore. But they look really, really nice. Perfect. And then actually, I got the fins finally all duplicated. The little pieces wrap around on the inside on both of those. The little notches and everything. Got this mostly duplicated from the other lower leg there. Let's see, what else? The shoulder flap. Did that today. We'll duplicate that here probably next, because this is pretty simple stuff. It's not hard to do, but, looks real nice. Dig it. But, yeah, just been working in here on the studio all day. So yeah, I'm kind of jacked in, and very much in the zone. So that's kind of why I'm in a work first type of mentality right now. So I apologize for neglecting you kids in the chat. So let's go back to camera 1. Let's get back into it, shall we? Alrighty. So last we left off, Andrew says, probably won't ever happen unless something happens to Harmony Gold. Current licensing between them and Japan says the Japanese creators cannot use any of the OG characters. Wait, I thought Harmony Gold lost its license to Macross and Robotech and all that. I thought that happened like a year or two ago. Because like everybody was like celebrating the downfall of Harmony Gold. Evil company as it is. I could be wrong. I don't know. Anyway. Andrew says, anyway, I'm out. Hopefully be back Friday. Take care, Andrew. Drunken Barbarian Workshop. Yay! Stream time! What's going on, Burke? Excuse me. Let's see. Julia says, yeah, it's crazy that they haven't been able to come to some sort of an agreement in 40 years. I mean, Harmony Gold's such a piece of shit. It's such a piece of shit. Oh, okay. I know I'm jumping ahead, but Bill just said no. Harmony Gold agreed to allow the importation of the Macross property. Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense then. Okay. Well, they're still shitbags. I know that much. I know kind of the licensing BS of Harmony Gold and Macross and stuff like that. So there you go. Mike Dawson says, I was going to pick up the physical Legendary Edition of Halo Combat Evolved, but scalpers got to all of them and now are selling them for 5 times the price. Goddamn. No, sir. Burke says, oh, by the way, I made a discount code for the Mecha Army for the store. Beyond that, how's everybody doing? So far, so good. Yeah. So far, so good. Yeah. Bill says they actually did come to an agreement in the last year or two. Basically, Harmony Gold agreed to let them release Macross in North America, and they get a percentage. And in exchange, Japan is letting Harmony Gold move forward with new Robotech materials. Ugh, boo. Boo. Mike Dawson says red screams speed, but copper? Yeah, copper. It's a good... copper is a good... in-between red and gold. So, it's my model, Mike. Shut up. He says, also you need a spoiler on the back as well. No. Berg says, spoiler, yeah, mecha spoiler, that'd be red. No. Bill says, Mike, red only means speed if Char or an orc is the pilot. That's a good point, too. Yeah. Burke says, that's racist, Bill. Orcs can be any color. There you go. Mike says, not true. My Jeep goes zoom zoom and it's red. Zoom zoom. Nice. Burke says, the WOG doesn't discriminate, only against humans. There you go. Bill says, Tim's focused. Yeah, dude. Like, yeah. Focused. Like, locked in. Big time. Yeah. Bill says, in Warhammer, the orcs believe anything red goes faster, and since anything they believe becomes real, red is faster for them. The WOG. I don't know what that means. You guys have said it twice, but I don't know what that means. I'm not into, like, Warhammer or, D&D or anything like that. I'm sorry, you guys. I just like building little plastic robots. Like, fuck off. Bill says, maybe you're a part orc, Michael. Wouldn't surprise me, he says. Nigel Smith. Nigel! He says, hi all. What's going on, Nigel? Let's see. Enrico! Buenos notches, Enrico. Buenos notches. Brian says, I wish I could play Warhammer, but the prices are ridiculous to me. Oh, God, yeah. I don't understand any part of that pricing structure for little plastic figures. I don't get it. Yeah. Bill says, Enrico is here. Okay, everyone out of the pool. Wow. Nigel Smith, that's a nice scribing tool. Which, the chisels or the scribing jigs? Because the chisels are BMC. Good luck finding these. But the scribing jigs, these can be found from our good friend, hi Craig, Mr. Colin Craig. Posted a link to that, to his store, in the community tab. So, yeah, his scribing jigs are, really useful. Not only for scribing, but also for like measuring and things like that. Really good stuff. There it is. Buenos notches. Like, nice. Burke says, no, stay in the pool. Bill says, oh, thanks, Enrico. You reminded me I need to get some nachos before they close. Nice. Enrico says, I'm exhausted after the 4 tests I had today. But here we are. Yeah, buddy. Bill says, what were the 4 tests, and did you pass them all? Nachos. Enrico says, I was the teacher, which is probably more tiring. Yeah, because you got to grade everything. That blows, dude. Enrico says, A1, B1, C1 students, all of them had their tests the same day, and tomorrow the youngest ones will have theirs. Oof. And Bill says, you were the teacher? Please tell me you pulled the classic college freshman trick and had on the board read all instructions before beginning. Then on the last page you have in the instructions. Oh, that would have been terrible, right? Bill says, if you haven't gotten to this point and not written in this booklet, even your name, sign below and turn this in for 100%. Oh, that's vicious. That's vicious. Look, Enrico's like, damn, I'm taking notes, right? Bill says, I had a chef pull that trick on a 15-page exam covering every course. I missed the one page it was on, so I had to answer every question. Still got 100%, but it took hours to complete. Oh, man, I bet. Enrico says, oof, I imagine your reaction when you realized, yeah. But hey, 100 the hard way. Hats off, right? Big time. Briggsy's with us. He says, when you get a job, are you going to still try and do this? Absolutely. Yeah. Especially the nighttime streams. I love the nighttime streams. But the daytime streams, if I get a job, obviously will have to go away. So that's, the downside of actually being employed. But hopefully, this thing, starts to ramp up over the next 2-3 months, and we'll be good. So we'll see. We will see. Bill says, no Harmony Gold agreed to allow... we saw this. Yeah. Nigel, I heard something about the Harmony Gold through the Battletech universe and the ongoing saga of mech designs. Yeah, cough, Robotech. Yeah. Burke says Tim does not like Mac Tech or Robocross. Yeah, right? Yeah. Mike Dawson says to that, I say, so? Haha. There's a discount code? Yeah, dude. Burke, drop it. Drop the code in the chat. Hell yeah. Let's go. Go ahead and just drop it in there. Bill says, yeah, Nigel, Battletech went to court several times. That is why you have seen suits like the Shadowhawk get updated in recent years, as they have changed them so they don't break the copyrights. Oof. Mad Havoc, what up, dude? He says, hello, everyone. Just popped in quickly to say hello. Very nice. Thank you. Thank you for that, buddy. Appreciate it. Bill says, Tim, wait until you see the Warhammer Titans. Pretty cool plastic robot. I've seen videos of those, and those are insane. And yeah, Nigel said 2,000 plus for a Titan. Nah, I don't need that in my life. Nope. Let's see. Nigel says the Titans are very cool, though, and about the only thing I like from Warhammer 40K. I mean, I've seen like pretty cool little, miniatures and stuff like these guys have done, like the really good, painters and builders or whatever they're called. I mean, they look cool. I don't have the skill with a brush to do shit like that, so that's out the window. Enrico says, yeah, man, grading the speaking interaction and production tests is quite tiring, and then I'll be correcting the written sections the whole weekend. Send help. Ooh. Bill says, I have one of the War Master Titan kits for Imperialis? The game where people are 6 millimeters tall. I haven't built yet. Jesus. Here's the code. Mech Army. Cool. Mech Army. Mecha Army or just Mech Army? I just want to make sure there's no, that's not a typo or anything. Just saying. But Bill dropped the link in the chat. Thank you, Bill, for that. Let me copy that for our friends over on Twitch. Bear with me one moment here. Twitch folks, copy that. Get in there, and boom. All right, cool deal. Burke says, I just made the code, haven't tested it yet, but I can fix any issues if they arise. There you go. Bill says, it's the size of a perfect grade when built and costs like 150 bucks. Oof. Ranger Chris, what's going on, dude? You might also check out Conflict 47M. They have some interesting mech designs. Yeah, I've seen some cool things. Some cool mech designs in the, miniature arena. So I do like the what's the little miniature figures that Bandai came out with. Shit, it's right there on the tip of my tongue. Somebody help me with this. Somebody help me. What are they called? What are they called? The little... Oh, it's right there. It's right there. Gundam... Fuck. Not Gundam fuck. Artifact. Thank you, Bill. Gundam Artifact. Yes, that... See? It was right there. Right there on the tip of my tongue, and I couldn't remember it. But, yeah, good call. Good call. Yeah, the Gundam Artifact series. Like the Dom is really cool. The Rick Diaz. Diaz? I don't know. Really, really cool, takes on those designs. I really, really like that. So, kind of, especially with the Rick Diaz, I kind of wish that they made like a 1/100 scale out of that. It's pretty freaking cool. Nigel says there are some excellent painters in 40K. Oh, hell yeah. I mean, that Golden Demon competition is nuts. Nuts. Bill says, thank you, Nigel. I try, but I'm not that great all. Burke says, Mech Army. I straight copied it from the website. What website? Because it's usually Mecha Army. Mecha Army. Yeah, I don't know. Anywho. Briggsy says, the thing is some Warhammer builders got into building Gunpla because you get more for the money. Oh, shit, yeah. Yeah. And I've seen them. I've seen these cats that have like these gigantic followings because of, their painters on Warhammer, and they're like, oh, look, I just did my first Gundam. Like, get the fuck out of here. That's not how you do it. It's not how you do it. I'm gonna gatekeep. I'm not, but still. I would like to. Let's see, Briggsy, like the size. Yeah, right. Conflict 47, hit the wrong key. Gotcha. Bill says, honestly, the two hobbies are very, very similar. Yeah. Let's see. Nigel says, Das Werk has a couple of interesting German 46 mechs in 72nd scale. Interesting. Bill says, let's see. I got some of the artifact ones very detailed. Yeah, they are. They really, really are. Hell yeah. Let's see. Enrico says, yeah, I thought Tim meant the wargaming style ones. No, the artifact. Those, and they increased the size of the artifact line as well, from what I understand. They're getting a bit bigger, which is actually kind of cool. So, good on you, Bandai. Bill says Artifact predates the Gundam Assemble miniatures game. The Artifact are static posed, whereas the Assemble kits are dynamic posed. So they have articulation? I don't know. Anyway. Herethic is rating with 4 viewers. Thank you. I appreciate that. Good looking out. Hello, for those of you just joining us over there on Twitch. My name's Tim, Child of Mecha, 2-time GBWC US champion. And right now we're just kind of catching up with the chat. We're modifying a Master Grade Hyaku Shiki 2.0 into basically a speed demon. The theme is speed. We're modifying it heavily. So, We'll get back to that here in a moment. Thanks for tuning in. If you like what you see, hit the follow. Can't hurt. But yeah, Heretic, thank you very much for the raid. Appreciate that. Good looking out. Good looking out. All right. Ranger Chris, you might also check out Model Collect. They also have some cool 135th mech kits. Huh. That's interesting. That's interesting. 135th scale. Those are pretty, I mean, those have to be pretty sizable, right, Chris? Especially at 135th. Like, holy crap. Enrico says, yep, I assumed he meant the newer ones. Yeah, Artifact seems a lot cooler, yeah. Nigel says, you can thank Old School Gunpla and Mike Wine for putting onto your excellent channel. Aw, thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. Well, and thank you to George and Mike, right? Appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, you know, we're just doing our thing, building this shit, right? Bill says, no, the assembles don't have the level of detail that Artifact has, but they are similar size. And I might use Artifact in the assemble game. Okay. I'm not into the games, though. Nigel Smith says, Model Collect and DOS Work, same company, different names. Interesting. Okay. Okay. I'm going to have to check those out. 135th scale, you say? Huh. That's pretty sizable. It's pretty good size. It's pretty good size. Bill says, no, they are running or flying poses, whereas the Artifact are just standing with arms hanging down to the side, so very stoic poses, yeah. And then Ranger Chris says, similar to armor kits in terms of size, just with legs. Huh. I dig the concept. I dig the concept. And what are these called again? Let me find it here. Model Collect or DOS Work. Okay. Let me see here. What do we find here if we look this up? Model Collect, where you build your scale model dream. Okay. We are going to build our scale model dream here, kids. As if we weren't doing that already. Let's see. What do we have here? Mech. Okay. So like they're basically like crab tanks. Let's here. I'll put this on. Hang on. All right. So here is the, what is it, the Model Collect website, yeah? Yeah, all 135th scale. Pretty decent prices for, you know, obviously the scale and everything. Oh, these are 1/72nd, that's why. Well, shit. 135th, there we go. All right, so 59, $60. Okay, I mean, it could be worse, right? Could be worse. But yeah, lots of kind of, you know, crabby tanks. Ooh, what was that? Oh, that's kind of nice. Ooh, look at that sexy little thing. Okay. All right. Oh, that's not bad. That's not bad. Huh. Yeah. I mean, but definitely for, you know, definitely crabby tanks. You know, that's the, let's be real, that's basically what they are, right? What's this guy here? What's this one? What's this look like here? Oh, he looks like a frog. Looks like a big old bullfrog. Look at him. Webbed feet and everything. Nice. All right. Good deal. Anyway. They're pretty cool. I'm not, don't get me wrong, they're pretty cool. Yeah. Nigel says, I have the Horizon Models 35th Mad Cat Timberwolf vinyl kit. About 11 inches tall. Oof. Vinyl, though. I don't fuck with the vinyl kits, man. I don't fuck with the vinyl kits. Ranger Chris says, German... Lots of letters, lots of letters, lots of letters. Kaiser Koffer on Scalemates for a quick lookup. Yeah, that's just lots of letters and stuff. I'm not gonna try. Anyway, question of the day, Lelouch, Mr. Bryan, he says, mine would be to master what thickness of plastic sheet to properly add depth and layering to a build. Interesting. Okay. So my kind of rule of thumb, Brian, is the happy medium is usually 0.5 millimeter thick plastic, right? And I'm talking about on like 1/100 scale. That's kind of the happy medium. That's the, kind of light armor. 1 millimeter and above, you're talking heavy armor, right? So that's when it's going to start to look weighed down and just like it's about to get into a scrap. Whereas, the 0.5 millimeter plastic is much more subtle. It's a much more subtle look, right? Now, obviously for details and things like that, I mean, you can go whatever way that you want. And let me kind of show you some examples of what I mean, right? So like here on the leg part, right? This main strip up here down the side, that's 1 millimeter thick. But, that is a prominent type of detail, right? Now on the side here, like on the fins and everything, this bit right here, that's 0.5 millimeter plastic, right? You can kind of see there, that's a bad, yeah, there, much thinner, and it just looks, it looks tacked on, or like a separated part or something like that, right? So 0.5 millimeter, in my opinion, is like the happy medium, right? Now for simple, just kind of, geometry call outs and things like that, this right here, 1/4 millimeter strip, right? Very, very subtle. Outline scribe that, still it looks like it's separated and everything, but it is a very, very subtle look, because once this is painted, that will, start to blend in more with the actual piece of armor and all that, right? But you can see there, just in the level, that is just a very, very subtle piece, as opposed to, well, that's a bad example. Let me get you one without the marker on it. As opposed to that, right? That is much thicker, much more prominent, right? So, yeah. Like I said, I usually find that 0.5 millimeter plastic is, like I said, the happy medium. Let's see. So here's a good example. This is the GM Quell. So for this, lack of a better term, knee pad, right? That's 1 millimeter plastic, and that is gonna, that's what it's gonna look like when it's all painted up and everything. Very prominent, obviously very heavy looking, and that looks like it is ready for collision, right? As opposed to something like this here, that is 0.5 mil plastic. That's just, kind of your lighter style armor and everything. So you can kind of see the differences there, but I do really, really like using half mil. Number one, it's easy to work with, and then two, it's a lot more subtle than your, heavy looking 1mm thick plastic. So that's kind of my general rule of thumb. I don't always stick to that, mind you, but that's kind of what I think about when I start to think about, adding more armor or something, or reinforcing a part, something like that. So, yeah, just a, general good rule of thumb. Nigel says, model collect and DOS work, a lot of German 46 tanks and mechs. Yeah, crabby tanks. Briggsy says, Zach talked about these once, the crab tanks. Yeah. Ranger Chris, that one also comes with metal barrels. Unfortunately, no figures, but to me it has plenty. There you go. Nigel says, I have the Kaiser Kaffer? I don't know, as well. Matt Havoc, well, gotta be up early. I hope everyone has a good night or good day. Buddy, take care, man. Thank you for stopping by and hanging out with us. Briggsy says, E75 tank was one I remember seeing from Zach. Gotcha. Bill says, I mean, they would make good kit bash fodder. A lot of stuff you could use for backpacks and whatnot there. Yeah, maybe. They might be a little big because they are 135th. Maybe the 172nd would be good. I mean, you could always use like one of those cannon for like a Zaku cannon or a Gelgoog cannon or like gun cannon or something like that. It'd be interesting. Nigel says it was a friggin' nightmare to assemble the vinyl Mad Cat. Yeah, I bet, because it's vinyl. Bill says 1mm and above looks like the extra armor on the Alex. See, there we go. Great minds think alike. Bill says vinyl kits are something I do not mess with anymore. Not since the 90s, and I was never happy with the results. Yeah, they're tough, man. They're tough. They are tough. Nigel says, Bill, I have modified the Kaiser Koffer to 20th scale in line with the Mackay kits and building a new body on the leg assemblies. Nice. Nigel says, LOL, I am definitely not up to Tim's level in the Gundam universe. Just started custom painting on my Wing Gundam Zero. Aw, man, you just keep watching. We'll get you there, Nigel. Don't you worry about that, buddy. We'll get you there. We'll get you there. Just use 3mm plastic for everything. I kid. Please don't. Dude, I was going through my box of bits of plastic today, right? Yeah. So here's a here's a good example, right? Here's a good example. This is probably about 3 mil. Yeah, practically on the money. 3mm and a little bit, right? So for all intents and purposes, yeah, 3mm, right? So there's your 3mm plastic, right? And then here is your 0.5mm plastic. I mean, just look at the difference. Like, that's stupid, right? Like, come on, man. Even at 1 mil, right? And this 1mm looks heavy. Can you imagine somebody putting 3mm plastic armor bits on their model? Oh my God. No, sir. No, sir. Enrico says, I use a lot of 0.3 too, since I mostly work with 144. Yeah, and 0.3 millimeters or, 1/4 millimeter, either way, you're talking minuscule amounts, but it's a really good middle size for, Hey, very cool. Brian, thank you, buddy. Oh, there we go. Sweet. Brian, you get one of these, bud. Thank you, Recruit. I appreciate that. Appreciate that. Very cool. Very nice. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Yeah, for like 144, your 0.3, your 0.25 is going to be your happy medium. Obviously, you know, scaled down and everything. So, yeah, that works. Brian says, thanks for the tips, Tim. As always. Dude, always, man. That's what we're here for. That's what we're here for. Bill says, 135th tanks are like master grade scale Gunpla. Really? I thought they were a bit bigger. Just in like, obviously not in scale because it's one's 135th, one's 100. But in terms of, you know, kind of your, for lack of a better term, kit bash scale. Like how the parts look together, shall we say, right? So, yeah, I thought the 135th was a bit too big, but I don't know. Enrico says the 172nds would be cool for kit bash fodder, indeed, and tempting at that price. Yeah, right? They're not bad. They're not bad. Ranger Chris, if you use 172nd as a base, you could also use some of the Hasegawa weapon sets for added bits, right? Sir, yes, sir. Nice, nice. Nigel says, I'm a bit of a newbie to Gundam, but have been model building since the late 80s and worked in the New Zealand hobby industry for over 15 years. Word. Hell yeah. There we go. See, Nigel, I mean, you're gonna take to this like a duck to water, straight up. And, you know, like I said, keep watching George, keep watching Mike, keep watching me. We'll get you there. We'll get you. You're gonna learn a lot. Trust me. You're gonna learn a lot. You're gonna learn a lot. Let's see. Enrico, on a 1/100 scale model, 3mm pieces would represent 30 centimeter thick metal. Yeah, nah. It just would look so stupid. I don't know. Let's see. Bill says, I was talking for kit bash fodder. Yeah. And that is midnight, folks. Yeah, I got a couple minutes too. Nigel says, big stompy robots are the best. Yes, they fucking are. Yes, they fucking are. Somebody asked me, I forget who, asked me the other day, you know, have you only worked in Gunpla? And I'm like, yeah, that's the only thing that I've ever modeled is just Gunpla. Just because I love it. I love every aspect of it. Never did a tank, never did a car, never did a plane, never did a ship, never did anything other than Gunpla. No, I take that back. I did a Star Wars kit that Bandai wanted me to do. And it was a rush job, and I hated it. So that was the only other... It was a Kylo Ren kit, and I really disliked it. But, whatever. But yeah, no, I mean, like... I'm strictly Gunpla, and like you'll get it. You'll get it. So, let's see. Bill says post on the community tabs with updates on your builds or questions. I look forward to all of your updates, folks. Yes, absolutely. If you guys have any questions, you know, that you want answered, a lot of us check the community all the time. I know I do. Bill has been posting some really, really cool shit on there about his Dom build, which I'm like kind of in love with. So yeah, if you have questions, comments, anything, show them up, post them. Let's see. Brian says, hey Tim, how is the paint booth prep? The paint booth's been done. Paint booth has been done. I actually need to edit that video. I might start doing that. That wouldn't be bad. Yeah, get my feet wet back into the editing stage of things. I think I need to do that. Yeah, I need to do that. But yeah, the paint booth is done. It's that way. Oh, photo booth or the paint booth? Oh, I don't know. But anyway, the paint booth has been done, but I need to edit the video on that and get it published. Enrico says, I haven't posted about my current build's theme on the community yet. Will do tomorrow. There you go. Bill says, you have a plane as well. No idea if you ever built it. I remember when you got it. Oh, yeah, the F-14 that Z sent me. Yeah, that, oh, man, I'm not going to lie to you. That thing is kind of intimidating. Even for me. Like, that's a serious freaking model. And I want to, you know, if I ever do tackle it, I want to do it justice. Because that's a big boy model. Yeah. Brian says, I haven't worked on a project in a little over a week. Super busy with work. Hopefully next week I get some time back. There you go. There you go. Burke says, question.
We have a question.
What airbrushes do you have, Tim? I have my Iwata Eclipse Siphon Feed, which I love. That's my main brush. And then I have my little Iwata Neo. And that's it. Those are the only two. Yeah, those are the only two. So the Iwata Neo I hardly ever use. I use the Eclipse for pretty much everything. And I love that little sucker. I am a bit of a unicorn. I like siphon feed over gravity feed. Say what you will. But yeah, I'm just so used to using a siphon feed airbrush that I'm not into the gravity feed. I'm just not. So Nigel says, well, armor thickness is a real thing. World War II and 50s tanks had up to 150 millimeters plus of steel, so adding 1 to 2 or 3 millimeter additional plating may not be out of scale. Yeah, true. We're talking 3 millimeters of, yeah, what is it? Yeah, Bill was talking about the 3 millimeters of plastic sheet. That's crazy. That's crazy. So yeah, I mean 1.5 millimeter or so. Yeah, that wouldn't be outside of the realm of tastefulness, I guess. Yeah. So yeah, you could get away with 1.5. He meant photo booth. Oh, the photo booth. Yeah. He says both. Oh, well, I suck at taking photos. So the photo booth is pretty much done. I mean, obviously you guys can only see the corner of it here, but that's what she looks like as far as you could see. But I ran into a problem, and it's my phone. Because just the way that the lenses are on this phone is that the light comes in on the sides, and I don't understand why it does this, but I've changed aperture, I've changed shutter speed, I've changed all of that, you know, to compensate for any ballast flicker or anything like that. So it's definitely the lens on the phone and not anything else. Ton of light in there, ton of light, maybe too much. I cut some old bed sheet that we had lying around, just a white sheet, and I'm gonna hang it from the top of the case here, and use that as diffusion cloth. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. The phone, so basically what it does is there's like a striping going on. And like I said, I've tried to compensate for it. If it was like ballast flicker or something like that, and no matter what shutter speed I put the camera on, it still does it. which is disappointing. And I've gone from, you know, basically 50 shutter speed all the way up to, you know, 1/200th, 1/400th, and all points in between. But that striping is still there. So, yeah, it is what it is. If you know, if worse comes to worse, I'll pull the DSLR out. The phone is just so much more convenient. Obviously, you know, let's be real. But yeah, it's the damn phone and the lens there. So, like I said, if I got to pull out the damn DSLR, then so be it. That's what we'll do. And it's weird because the video, there's no striping in the video mode. It's only in photo mode, which I don't understand. And you can, when you take a photo, you can actually see the striping in the photo. So yeah, it's gotta be the phone itself, the lenses and stuff on it. It just is what it is. Brian says, I'm waiting for the 3D printing booth. Oh man, you're gonna have to wait a little bit of time for that one. Bill says, what phone model do you have? I have an iPhone 16 Pro Max, which is, it's fucking awesome. Best phone I've ever fucking had. It's a great phone. Love the phone to death. Ranger Chris, sounds like you need to make a shroud to fit it to block the side. Yeah. Yeah, that would be an easy fix. Nigel says, do either of you or airbrushes have a MAC valve? I'm not sure what that is there, Nigel. What is a MAC valve? Let me look it up. I may know it as something different, but who knows? MAC valve. Let's see, what do we got? No, that's probably not. Oh, wait a minute. That may be. Oh, is that like a, Oh, that's interesting. So it's basically, you can plug in a bunch of different hoses to one valve and it disperses the air. Okay, that's interesting. No, I don't have anything that fancy. I do have like the quick connects on my airbrushes though, which I freaking love. So, let's see. Chris says, if you have a DSLR, there are also aftermarket options for the higher end lenses they come with. Oh yeah, absolutely. No, I mean, I've got my Canons, and all of those. And, honestly, they're probably a better choice to take photos anyways than the phone, but yeah, it is what it is. Bill says, check out this for better photos. Oh, Moment. Yeah, Moment makes good stuff, don't they? Yeah, see? Wide angle, 18 millimeter. Yeah, that's not bad. $50 though for a little snap-on phone lens. And you need their case to mount it on too, which kind of blows. So, yeah. Yeah, it mounts to their proprietary case. Bleh. But yeah, I'll probably end up using my DSLR. It is what it is. Nigel says a MAC valve allows you to control air volume rather than air pressure. Interesting. How's that work? Huh. Ranger Chris, good man for using Canons. Yeah, I've always used Canons. It's just what I've always been drawn to. I'm not particular. I'm not like a Canon versus Nikon versus Sony or whatever, like Mac versus, Windows. I've never kind of had any skin in that game, honestly. Pete, Mr. Almanacs, Morning Legends. What's going on, buddy? Good to see you. Nigel says, no, that is air manifold, different to a MAC valve. The high-end GSI airbrushes have MAC valves just behind the head on the main body of the airbrush. Interesting. I didn't know that. Huh. Yeah. I don't get that. I don't get that. I don't get into like the really high-end kind of airbrushing techniques. Yeah, I'm very, very simple and straightforward when it comes to painting. I lay down primer, I lay down paint, I tape, do it again, bada boom, bada bing. I hardly ever do any sort of like pre-shading, post-shading. So yeah, I mean, it's just straight putting down color and primer for me most of the time. Everything else is done kind of post-process after that. So yeah. Bill says, okay, folks, have a great night. Bill, take care, buddy. Take care, man. All right. On the heels of Bill, I think that's where we're going to punch the clock for tonight, kids. It's 12:11. I'm going to go make some brownies. Not special brownies, just straight brownies. Amber wanted some, so I'm going to go probably make her some of those. But just real quick, Nigel says if you get the chance to try a GSI airbrush with a MAC valve, it gives you very fine control of airflow. I am a bit of an airbrushing nerd. Oh, there you go. There you go. Brian says, send me some, Tim. Dude, I may be down there sooner rather than later, so you might be able to just come and get you some. So, Brian, I don't know if you were on when I talked about it, but I may be moving down there maybe December, November-ish. So, I think those plans are moving forward at a bit of a faster pace. So, yeah. Yeah. But, we'll see. We'll see. Enrico says, save some brownies for me. I'll cover shipping. Oh, geez, dude. I'm not making them from scratch. I just bought a box of brownie mix. You know what I mean? Like, it's nothing special. You guys can make them, too. Yeah. Nigel says, have a good night, bro. Good to catch up on a stream. Definitely, dude. Come hang out with us again, Nigel. For real. Good stuff. All right, kids. We're punching the clock. We'll be back tomorrow, noon Eastern time. Come on back. We're going to continue working. We are going to move on to the flappy shoulder thingy, and then probably work on that very, very top part connector for the shoulder that goes under the flappy thing that you'll never ever see, but it's still there. Yeah, so we'll continue working this thing. So, anywho, kiddos, have a wonderful rest of your evening, day, whatever. Build something cool. Be safe out there. Stay tuned for the end credits. I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye.